I am here with head coach John Micheletto, and we are previewing this weekend's playoff matchup against Vermont. Coach, why does a one-game playoff mean more than the previous seasons?
Well, it's more difficult, I think, in the one-game series. You got to overcome mistakes much quicker. You've got to put negative thoughts aside. You don't have that much time to recover and dwell on things that have already happened. So, the one-game survive and advance format for us is, all about making sure you get a good start. If things don't go your way, it's about forgetting that negative part of it and constantly trying to push forward and manufacture energy, even when your energy happens to be low. So it's an interesting format that way. I think when so many of our guys, not only at the collegiate level but at the junior level previous, are so used to a 3-game or a 5-game series.
And Frank Vertrano will make his Hockey East debut with you. What can fans expect to see from him?
Well, Frank's a very hard-working kid. For a year and a half now in practice, nobody has come ready, more ready to work than Frank on a day-in, day-out basis. Strictly from a skill set, the most defining skill that he has that I think people recognize quickest is his shot. But beyond that, he is a very skilled playmaker. He sees the ice very well. At the same time, it's been a long time for Frank since he's played in competitive hockey. There's going to be a bit of a learning curve getting back into the game, and but I do know that he improves our lineup and is a good guy to have around the locker room come game night. So we're looking forward to having him on Friday.
Who can we look forward to see step up this weekend?
Well, again, Frank's going to, add an element to our lineup. It's also going to allow us to maybe spread some offense around. We're always going to be led by our seniors, especially the 3 senior forwards that, have done such a great job for us in my time here, and Brandon Graysell, Mike Pereira, and Connor Sheary. But then on the back end, we've gotten real good minutes out of Joel Hanley and Colin Shea, and that's going to have to continue. You're going to rely on players to play big minutes in the single game format, especially with the TV timeouts, and I would expect Vermont to do the same. So, the guys that have been go-to players for us are really going to have to be ready to go come Friday.
And senior Chris McCarthy is Vermont's leading point getter with 40 points. What is his style of play, and how can you contain him in the lineup this weekend?
Player. He's got a good skill set, really balanced skill set. I think his speed is underrated, but again, he's got such a very quick release, and I think that's gotten him a lot of his offense. He's playing with a couple of freshmen now. They've had some injuries that have shook their lineup up a little bit, but he's made Mario Piskarich a threatening goal scorer on his line as well. So again, Chris is a very good player that you've got to pay attention to him, but you also got to respect his playmaking ability and not fall asleep on his line mates.
And what did you take away from the regular season matchups against Vermont that you can take into Friday night's game?
Well, you look back, I think our 5-on-5 play was very good. I was happy with the way that we generated offensive opportunities and for the most part minimized the number that Vermont had. Over the course of those 2 games on that weekend, they were 3 for 8 on the power play, and that wound up being the factor. You allow any team in Hockey East to operate at 37% on their power play, it's not going to turn out well for you. And since then, that November stretch where our penalty kill was struggling a little bit, we've been much better. So hopefully we're able to keep them off the scoreboard when we're a man down, and a single goal here or there is a big factor, especially at this time of the year.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.